What's up, everybody? Terrell here, and I'm here to talk about Baby Assassins 3 Nice Days. Now, full disclaimer, at the time of me watching this movie originally, I had not seen the first two. After watching the third entry in the movie, which I never do, I never watched the third before I see the first two, but I didn't have access to them at the time until I bought them because I had to buy them on Blu-ray. But after watching this movie, I want to say that this is probably one of my favorite entry in the series so far, just in terms of how fun this is, like the action and everything that's in it. If you're not familiar with Baby Assassins, I strongly advise you to stop what you're doing, go find those first Baby Assassins movies, those Japanese movies, to fully understand some of the stuff that I'm about to tell you. And this is not a spoiler, but some of the stuff I'm going to describe that Baby Assassins is about. So pause what you're doing, go watch those movies. Now, welcome to Baby Assassin 3 Nice Days review. For those who are familiar with the series, let me give you a breakdown of the plot of this one. Teenage assassins Chisato and Mahiro visit the coastal city of Miyazaki when they unexpectedly cross paths with a bloodthirsty assassin who's looking to add to his personal body count. He's trying to get those numbers up. He's trying to reach a specific number of victims in this world of assassins. Pretty sure, like I said, if you're affiliated with the assassins, if you're thinking this is like a lot like John Wick, is really not. I feel like John Wick kind of has a more established lore, I guess you would say, after 5 movies in the TV series. This we only have 3 movies so far, but like, it's still really kind of vague about some of like the guild and some of the other assassins that we just kind of come across. But the personality, the whatever the movie is, like, our characters are on vacation. They're trying to chill. They get called up for a job that they didn't want to do because they after killing people, they want to relax and just chill. If you didn't know, this is directed and written by Yugo Sakamoto, who also, of course, did. I want to make sure he did the other. He's the writer for the first Baby Assassin, and the second one as well. So, like I said, Yugo Sakamoto. If you wouldn't go and look that up. Now, like I said, the third one is the plot is really centered around this particular assassin who commits a big no in the world of assassins and gets involved in this whole other thing. Like I said, without going into spoilers, the story of this movie is what it is. I feel like with any, not to say that action movies can't have a good story, but that's not really the device that is driving it for the most part. I mean, it's like I said, when I initially watched this, I didn't know what to expect. This has a really good balance of like humor, action, and while still kind of oddly giving the characters, like humanizing the characters, even though they're assassins, and like, because you can kind of relate to some of the issues like that some of the characters that go through. Like, you just want to relax, man. You work hard all week. You don't feel like dealing with that. But the two main characters who are friends, I think that you see a lot of them kind of dealing with emotions that I don't think that neither one of them are like individually are necessarily well equipped to handle. But at the end of the day, I think what this movie tells you is like everybody needs a friend, everybody needs somebody to talk to, everybody needs somebody that keeps them going, keeps them alive, gives them a reason to live, which I think is the overall theme of this movie is, finding a reason to live. With this particular assassin, he's looking for a reason, in his work, finding taking pride in the kill, stuff like that. But of course, he takes a little bit overboard. So now we're dealing with, a little bit more. The action of the movie I thought was phenomenal. The fighting is really good. The gunplay, like the CQC that you see throughout the movie, is really good. I don't know for sure if the actresses that are playing these two characters are actually playing the role, but let me check that out because I want to make sure I get that straight, because I was just looking at my notes here. Akari Takaishi is playing Chisato, and Saori Izawa is playing Mahiro. And like I said, they are great in this role. These movies have been coming out over the last 3 years. Thank you again to, as I said before, Well Go for getting the screening for this movie. It was definitely well worth the watch. Like I said, obviously, recommend this to anybody that is a fan of action movie. If you like a good comedy, a movie that doesn't take itself too serious. If you're familiar with any like type of Japanese like action comedy, your Jackie Chan, stuff like that, you kind of already know what you're getting here, except this is with a more radar tag on it. Like I said, the action is great. I think that some of the stuff I wasn't expecting to see, people getting punched in the face, some of the headshots, some of the stabbing that you see in here, all really, really well done. Honestly, I don't think the movie needed to be any longer than what it was. But I could definitely see this kind of going for a while, or at least the action just kind of age out of the role, because they'll probably be able to do this for like another 5 to 10 years, because most Japanese women don't really start showing the age until like forever. So I can see this going for a while. But like I said, the action is really good. I did, like I said, the story is fun. I'm not gonna say it's forgettable. Like just because it's an action movie, the story is definitely fun. It's definitely a series that I see myself recommending to multiple people, as these movies come out. And so far, it's 3 movies. Like I said, this originally came out in like September in Japan. I believe that we will be getting this soon in North America digitally. And I do see, I think when I looked on Amazon, I did see it up for pre-order. So you may still be able to get those first 2, because I did buy the first 2 movies on Amazon. But this should be available, of course, like digital pretty soon. But like I said, this movie is phenomenal. I had a good time. I see myself watching again, bringing us over to friends. Like, hey, have you guys seen this movie? Like, it's really, really well worth the watch. I did watch it subtitled. I can't really. It's really hard for me to kind of watch certain movies like with the English dub if they had it, and then not just come across silly where it kind of takes it away, takes you out of it sometimes. Because sometimes if it's not dubbed right, it's just, especially how Netflix does certain things, or certain other media companies do certain dubbing, it doesn't always translate well either. But no, I think they do a good job. This feels like a live action, and I wanted to look that up earlier. Live action anime, if this is already an ongoing series. I didn't see any information about that at the time. But this is definitely well worth the watch. The characters are fun. I love the two main characters after going back and watching the first 2 movies, and then of course the third one. So I'm pretty attached to them at this point. If anything would have happened, I pretty much be mad. But I like I said, it's worth the watch. If you guys once this becomes available, I highly watch the first 2 first, but I highly do recommend watching Baby Assassins 3 because it is fun. I didn't think I was gonna have as much fun, especially somebody that watches a lot of of course action movies. Your John Wick, play a lot of the Yakuza game or Like a Dragon games now. So getting to see that those have nothing to do with it, but just kind of give you an idea of like the genre that kind of feels like to me with some of the stuff that goes in the movie. But it's silly, but it's not too silly, and the action is very well played, very real pace. It's always odd just seeing like young Japanese women just kind of being trained killers sometimes, because like in these particular personalities, because it's kind of off-putting a little bit because they're just kind of really having fun with it. But other than that, the movie's great. For me, this was a 5 out of 5. This was definitely worth the watch. I will be watching again. If you guys had an opportunity to watch the movie, leave us a comment below, letting us know what you thought about the movie, how you felt about the action, what you thought about the story. What was your favorite part of the movie? Don't spoil it for anybody if you guys haven't seen it yet, but just let me know what you thought. And on that note, like I said, check it out once it comes available on digital. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you guys next time for another review. This has been Baby Assassins 3 Nice Days, and Terrell is back with another great review, and I will see you guys next time. See you.